So guess what? Turns out that in Mexico, I am some sort of culinary genius, which may come as a surprise to anyone who's known me for very long, because I've never been exactly a natural in the kitchen. I'm never one who knows, can taste something and goes, oh, it's missing turmeric or something like that. But over here, because I can follow a recipe, like for example, last weekend, I made a pastel de tres leches for Jorge's mum's birthday, and his cousin goes to me, oh, you really like cooking, don't you? And I was like, well, it's not like I really love it, but just said, in Australia everyone cooks because there's no one else to do it for you, so you kind of have to. So with my newfound status as a culinary genius, I am emboldened to attempt a very audacious menu for this Sunday, which is Mexican Independence Day. And I'm going to, with the help of Diana Kennedy, who they call the Julia Childs of Mexican cooking. She's an English woman who has lived in Mexico for years, decades, and still lives here in her 90s, but originally from England. And it's in English, which is very useful, but includes so many amazing recipes that, for example, in Australia, we would just never get to bank because you just can't find the ingredients. So for this, I'm going to make for Jorge's family, as a thank you for all their support in this move, a national dish that always comes out around this time called Chiles en Nogada, and it's the colours of the flag, so red, white and green, and that's why it's kind of goes around Independence Day. And then and it includes the colours of the flag, so the pomegranate seeds, look, you can just buy this in the market, already shelled. Amazing at this time of year. And so that's sprinkled on the top. The white is the sauce, which is sprinkled over, which is made up of milk and walnuts that you have to peel, and it's apparently a hugely laborious process because you have to make sure that the skin is completely gone, otherwise the sauce would be kind of brown and not white, but it needs to be white because that's the colour of the flag. And look, you can just buy walnuts that have been pre-soaked and peeled in the market at this time of year again, because otherwise this would take hours, and I don't even own a nutcracker. And then the green is parsley sprinkled on top, but a lot of recipes I've found online, the English versions that come from the United States, say coriander, but all the Mexican ones say parsley. And then, but what goes in there is, so I went to the market yesterday and bought so many things that I've never bought in my life, and the list was massive. Look, such a long list, double-sided, of things that I've never bought. But anyway, so the main part of chili en nogada is stuffing these chiles. What kind of chili are they? Chili poblano, that's right. He stuffed them with a combination of pork and fruits like apple, pear, peaches. Although I think I got apricots. I don't know. I asked for duraznos, and I think that's apricot. I don't know. And then the sauce goes on top, and so that's the main dish. And then for starters, my favorite soup, Sopa de Tortilla, which is tortilla soup, or it's also called Sopa Azteca. And I was so excited to see that it's in this book, because I've always wanted to know how to make it. And you can just easily make that, and of course here too, because you can just buy these little corn tortillas. Again, something that would be really hard in Australia to find, because you need to fry those up, and then they go crispy into the sort of tomatoey broth. And you put it with queso Oaxaca as well inside. Again, another thing you can't really find in Australia. And then for dessert, it's called a creme de Piñon. Now, I didn't even know this, but Mexico has its own kind of pine nut, and it's pink pine nuts. Look at this. So, pink pine nuts, and they're actually really expensive. So, this quantity was over 200 pesos, which is about like $16, which is a small fortune in Mexico, but they make a lot of desserts and things out of them. Apparently it's got a flavour that's like a little bit more delicate and sweet. I don't know, we'll see. So there's all of those pine nuts are going to go into the dessert. Oh, and another thing I've never cooked with before, a plantain, or they call them plátano macho, just big macho plátano. I think that's, oh, and another thing that I've never bought before, just like a big old stick of pork lard. So it looks pretty gross, but yeah, let's not look at that too closely. But apparently it'll taste delicious. So I've just inspected the bag of chilies that I bought, the ones that I'm going to be stuffing, and like dodgy, but I asked for 8 and one is shriveled and tiny and it's supposed to be big for making chili in Nogada. One has got like some sort of like squidgy bit, and yeah, so I think not a good selection, and now I know that I should have chosen my own. And then also, now that we're on the subject, I checked, and duraznos mean peach, and she gave me apricots, and then charged me 70 pesos for this amount of apricots and the pomegranates. Does that sound right? I think so, because the meat cost 50 pesos. So yeah, I'm afraid, like whenever I go into a food market, they just see a foreigner coming and they just charge me whatever, and because I don't know, it's really hard to get my bearings on what everything is supposed to cost. But I'm fairly sure I didn't do that well on the chilies that are to be stuffed, and I certainly didn't get, I do know the word for peach, it's durazno. I don't even know the word for apricot at all. So these definitely apricots. Doesn't matter, I'm sure whatever fruit will be fine, but yeah, just I really wish, I'm looking forward to when I can buy things in the markets with confidence and that I'm not getting ripped off. I'm not sure that'll ever happen though. Another discovery I've just made is that the woman who sold me the pink pine nuts didn't give me 225 grams like I requested, because I noticed at the time, because earlier in the market I had bought regular pine nuts because I didn't know if I was going to find the pink ones, and I got 225 grams of those, and then the pink bag didn't look the same as the other bag I'd got. It just didn't look as big. And yeah, and so in this recipe book it says 225 grams should be around about like 2 1/4 cups. And it was clearly not 2 1/4, it was just over 1 cup. But anyway, so luckily I got regular pine nuts as well, because you can make it with both. But anyway, so I'm putting the pine nuts, look at them, all these little pink ones, they're very pretty, into, I'm going to process them up. Crema de Piñon is finished, ta-da! And while it's not as pink as it would have been if I'd used 100% pink pine nuts, it's still got pink tinges to it and pink bits inside, and I've decorated it with pink pine nuts, as you can see. And I've got this one, and I'm going to do a speeded up version.
Ay, muy bien,
I'm going to try my editing skills.
Hola video, ¿cómo están? Pues fui al mercadito y encontré crema muy sabrosa.
A lot of the people who are watching this video don't speak English.
Pues van a aprender español después de esto. Esto se llama queso Oaxaca. Alright, so where are we?
Okay, so we have peeled all of the charred bits off the chilies that you can see here, and you can see all of them in the bottom of the sink there. So now what happens is, you can see that we've also been operating a little bit inside. So how you do it is you make a slit. Now Sunday, the day of the comida, and I have already this morning prepared the tortilla soup. So here I've got the fried tortilla strips. All that's left to do really today is the rest of this, bung all of the fruit in with the mince afterwards. And I have also used this part of the kitchen for the first time. This thing, what do you call this, Jorge?
Comal.
A comal. Every kitchen has one of these, and it's something to fry food on in order to char it.
To roast.
To roast it. So I put the tomatoes on there. Yeah, almost there. Almost finished.